I like that you're marketing that,
Absolutely.
because I know with my children, I think it's important to bring them
Yes.
so they see what the process is and see that their vote
right.
matters and their
Yeah.
presence matters.
And have fun doing it.
You know, I like that. Okay, any technical things that folks need to know just about, like, okay, election day's coming, what are some tips, tricks, advice to make sure that that voter who might be hesitant on showing up, what do they need to know?
Come prepared. I think come prepared. We send out a sample ballot in our Election Connection newsletter to every registered voter in the city of Detroit. And our intent is that you look at that and you make your decisions at home. So, and take that with you to the polls. So when you go to your precinct to vote, you already know who you're going to vote for.
Right.
And that kind of helps move things along. Again, we're lighting up the atmosphere by having DJs and things like that. But people need to know also, I gotta say, they have to bring their ID,
Right.
Current government issued ID. But if they don't have that current ID, they can vote a regular ballot by simply filling out an affidavit saying that they are, who they say they are.
And Andrea, how do we address voter turnout in terms of the younger generation? Obviously, I mean, we were going through those stats. I mean, the majority tend to be over 60 years old.
Yeah.
We need the younger voters.
Yeah, so we touch them where they are, or we catch them where they are. So we're doing things like this. We're partnering up with younger organizations, Detroit Young Professionals and others, trying to speak to them to see what their needs are and what will it take for them to get out to the polls. A lot of what we know is that we get our information from social media. So now we have a digital social media team that's posting videos every day. We're partnering up with the Media Services Department, trying to put as much content out there as we can to get people to see, all right, there's an election coming up. Make your voice heard.
Are you here? I was just curious, and we're not picking on candidates or profiling that per se, but are there any hot topics that you think are going to really drive people to vote for this mayoral election? Are you hearing?
Yeah, we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to elect a new mayor, something we haven't had in a while, right?
Right.
We have an opportunity to elect new council members and new clerks, right? And police commissioners. We have an opportunity to make a difference in our daily lives because the local election matters in terms of your safety, right? In terms of city services and just your overall lifestyle living in a city. And we want you to know that you can determine how you live, basically, by voting in the municipal elections.
We're running, I was going to say, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Thank you, but I want to put a big push on the block party, so we'll have to put that on our website.
Yeah.
But what time does it start?
It's
9 to 5 this Saturday, July 26th.
Okay, and we'll put all that on clickondetroit.com so people can check it out.
absolutely. We hope to see you there.
I hope so. This is great. I love this idea. Good job, Andre. All right, everyone, but I know
Yes,
that you were working on it. Really hard.
absolutely.
All right, thanks so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, we are back in 90 seconds with an additional tradition coming up this weekend. Lots of folks are going to be showing up here. We're getting a live look at downtown Ann Arbor, where the Ann Arbor Art Fair is getting started. So next, we're going to show you everything that you can do and buy, and kind of do a live walk and talk all around to see what's going on there. We'll be right back. The streets of Ann Arbor, anything but a blank canvas. The city's art fair bringing out so many unique works to find. So take a look at this map. There's a lot to see with nearly 1,000 artists over 30 blocks in the downtown area. By the way, the fair is actually 3 different fairs all in one, with nearly 500,000 people expected to hit the fair this weekend. Lots of people will be showing up. Ann Arbor police will be out in full force to keep everyone safe, and with temperatures supposed to be pretty hot, first aid stations will be located in Liberty Plaza and Ingalls Mall if you feel ill. Also important to take precautions to keep cool and comfortable, dress in loose-fitting clothing, wear sunscreen, and bring a bottle of water. There are many free water bottle refill stations, by the way, throughout the area. Joining us this morning to talk about all the fun to be had is Karen Delhy. She is with the Ann Arbor Art Fair. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us a little bit about what is going on. Give us a preview.
Absolutely. Well, we are here on Main and Liberty Street, and we've got artists lined up and down the street. We've got plenty of art that's getting ready to open up at 10 a.m. today, and it's going to be a fantastic day out here all through Saturday.
I know you've got the camera person there. Is there a way for you guys to kind of walk around and show us a little bit about what you have there, and then kind of give us that perspective of what other folks are going to be seeing as they walk through the fair? And talk to us a little bit if you can, Karen.
So we are here from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Today and tomorrow. You'll find artists, like you said, there's 1,000 artists throughout the fair that's spreading from Main Street all the way up Liberty to State and Ingalls Mall and South U. So really anywhere that you want to start in downtown Ann Arbor, there's something for you to do there. And we have artists from all different sorts of backgrounds. Artists come from across the country to jury to be part of this fair, and everybody's still opening up down here on Main and Liberty, but we've got some jewelers opening up. We've got painting, mixed media, ceramics, sculpture, and so as you can see, we're still getting ready, but it's going to be a fantastic time. There's something for everyone here, truly. No matter what you're looking for, what kind of budget you have, there's just something for everyone, and it's for the whole family. We have lots of activities that are tailored towards kids throughout the fair, and all of it is free. This is a free public event, so it's a really great time for just anyone that wants to spend some time in downtown Ann Arbor and really immerse themselves in the arts. And
I was going to say, let's zoom into those paintings right there. Those are awesome. I love that.
Yes. And those are from Armando Pedroso. He's one of our painter, mixed media artists. He's fantastic. He's won a couple of our shows in the past. And we're here, this is downtown Ann Arbor. So while
is he a local artist, or is he coming in from out of town?
He's from the west side of Michigan. He has a blueberry farm out there. So he's down here along with all these other artists. And since we're in downtown Ann Arbor, you can enjoy all of the restaurants nearby. We're right by Pretzel Bell and Black Pearl right now. Cherry Republic's across the corner. And just throughout the fair, we've got businesses that come out onto the streets among the artists. So you can enjoy, lunch on the patio, looking at all the artwork, and continue your shopping before and after. So
let's see what this guy. Really, I was going to say, let's see what he's setting up. I love this little behind the scenes. You're doing a great job, Karen. I love how I'm putting you on the spot, making you this live reporter. But it gives us a chance to see some of this art up close, which is really great. I mean, it's a big deal to have your work here and this art fair. I remember when I visited last time, the artists say, they've traveled from a very far distance many times, some local, but some far away, because the attention they get. This is really, it's an important art fair.
Yes, it is. People come from as far as Florida, Texas, California, really from all over, because this is the art fair to be at. It's the largest juried art fair in the United States. So artists really compete heavily for the chance to be able to be here across the 3 fairs. So
I'm going to keep asking that photographer to keep showing us art. So keep zooming in. I'm not sure who's running our camera for us, but we would love to keep seeing the art if you can. Give me some advice. Absolutely. Last question. If you're a first-time person attending the fair, should we try to go a little earlier in the morning to avoid the crowds, a little bit later? Give me some perspective.
Definitely earlier in the day will help you avoid some crowds and some heat. It's supposed to not be record temperatures this weekend, but of course we want everybody to be safe and have fun. So come early if you can. There is plenty of parking around downtown Ann Arbor. The structures are open to the public, and then there are also park and ride opportunities at Huron High School and Briarwood Mall. So there's lots of different ways for people to get here, no matter what time of day. And it does go until 9 p.m. today and tomorrow, and ends at 8 p.m. on Saturday. So you can, make this part of your evening plans. So, there's no wrong time of day to come. But
all right. We're running.
yeah,
We're running out of time, Karen, but this is great. I love all this. Thank you so very much. We really appreciate it. So much to see in Ann Arbor at the art fair. We'll make sure we post all that information on clickondetroit.com, and we will check back with the folks in the art fair a little bit later in this broadcast. Right now, we need to talk about the weather. So we're going to bring in Ron to talk about what we can expect as folks perhaps might be headed out to Ann Arbor or whatever their weekend plans are. So what is up for us, Ron?
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
If you're like me, you are ready for a break. A break from the rainfall, a break from the air quality issues, and just some decent sunshine. Well, that is in our forecast. I just want to take you back to what we experienced yesterday. A lot of rain fell in Oakland and Macomb counties. That's where we had flash flooding, especially as you get into places like Rochester Hills, Lake Orion, Oakland Township, getting even over into places such as Macomb Township. Heavy rainfall yesterday. Now things are going to be drying out today. We are going to have calmer conditions, cold front moving through. Although it's breezy today, we are, again, going to have calmer conditions. So the clouds of the morning are going to subside as we get into the evening hours. Before sunset, we can expect some sunshine. Those winds peaking at around 15 miles per hour sustained during the afternoon hours. We'll have gusts up to around 25 miles per hour with winds shifting coming out of the west northwest. Cloud to radar forecast, that cold front sweeping through. We have the clouds in the morning time, but by the afternoon and evening hours, things decreasing. We'll have that sunshine again making its appearance, and it'll be with us tomorrow. This high pressure system influencing our weather tomorrow. That means a lot of sunshine, and you'll see that right here. Most of lower Michigan getting clear skies as we go into the afternoon hours tomorrow. But there's a change that is in the forecast that comes shortly after that. We get into our Saturday morning. A warm front lifts through. It's going to bring that additional moisture, warmer conditions, as well as the chance of a couple of rain showers in the morning. But it's in the afternoon hours when we start to see this cold front approaching that we can see some thunderstorms firing out ahead of it. That'll be in the afternoon hours and going into the evening with that risk of thunderstorms on Saturday. Sunday, we see things clearing out. We see a drop in the humidity, and we also see the return of some sunny conditions. Now today, we're getting up to around 80 degrees. We have a spotty shower chance, mainly as we get into the thumb. The decreasing clouds will be with us. Again, those winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour, even a little bit higher in a couple of spots. How do we get to that 81 degree reading for Detroit? We're going to get there by about 1 p.m., 77 degrees. As we get later into the mid-afternoon hours, we're getting closer to around 80. Now, some of us are not going to hit 80. Some of us are going to be cooler than that. We're only topping out about 75 degrees as we go into Lapeer, 77 as we head into Waterford and Pontiac and West Bloomfield. And then as we go into Romulus, we start to see those 80s popping up. Garden City, Westland, we're going to be about 80 degrees. Here's what we have ahead of us. Temps are going to be noticeably cooler later on tonight. We're down into the 50s here in Metro Detroit, about 59 degrees in Detroit. As we go into the thumb, we're looking at mid 50s and even potentially the lower 50s in Sandusky. Tomorrow, topping out in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And then it's on Saturday that we have those shower and thunderstorm chances, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. But look at this. The heat is returning. It's coming on Wednesday. So enjoy the cool weather right now if you like it.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Karen Drew with a Local 4 News update. In less than 2 hours, a Detroit teen will be arraigned after prosecutors say he led police on a chase, killing 28-year-old Alex Habib. Warren police say the teen was fleeing in a stolen car with no lights on and hit the 28-year-old, who later died from his injuries. Prosecutors say the teen will be tried as an adult. And if you are on the TV side, switch over to Local 4 Plus for another 90 minutes of conversations. We are checking our mental health this summer. Therapists will be joining us for that conversation. Plus, is your car seat safe? We are talking with an expert on how to spot fakes if you are looking to save some cash on those seats. And hundreds of people came out to our Go For It event, First Aid Basics. Dr. McGeorge will be taking a look at some of the very important takeaways from those classes. Ron is back with a look at your forecast in just a few minutes. Keep it right here.
From downtown Detroit, Local 4 Live starts right now.
Welcome back to Local 4 Live. I'm Karen Drew in for Nick Monticelli on your Thursday morning. We're going to start with a live look outside Mount Clemens this morning. We are starting to dry out there. Temps are a little cooler than they have been. Yesterday, man, it was a different story, right? Take a look at these videos. You're looking at deep flooding over in Oakland Township. You can see drivers in Farmington Hills. They had a challenge with their commute because of the heavy rain. And in Oakland Township, crews spent hours draining the water. It actually shut down traffic, forcing people living nearby to walk through it. So we are told the water should be gone this morning. We are clear for now. That's the good news. Ron is tracking rain, though, for your weekend. His forecast is in just a few minutes. Now to some new developments and two big stories involving the Detroit Fire Department, both involving taxpayers' dollars. One regarding a flooded firehouse the city was unaware of. The other, a payroll fraud concern that caught the attention of Internal Affairs. So let's start with my payroll fraud investigation. We uncovered the issue, exposed it. Now, this morning, we are getting results as the fire commissioner confirms he is demoting a lieutenant inside his department.
I would tell you this will be handled very appropriately.
But why was that handled earlier? I've got the tip that this note from Detroit Police Internal Affairs have found evidence substantiating that there is fraud.
That was Fire Commissioner Chuck Sims weeks ago when we first exposed the concern over payroll fraud in his department. Remember, when we talk about payroll fraud, it's you, the taxpayer, footing the bill. In a statement from a Detroit Police Department spokesperson, internal affairs investigation included the interviewing of numerous witnesses, reviewing payroll documents, preparing search warrants, obtaining phone records. The results of these investigative efforts revealed strong evidence that time fraud had been committed in excess of 150 hours. Here's what we know. The alleged fraud in this case involved a time period from November 2022 to April 2023, involving clocking in and clocking out.
I do want to bring up that the prosecutor's office did deny a warrant for this. So, I'm not the type to just automatically say, I'm going to fire this guy.
But Sims did just confirm to Local 4 that fire lieutenant has been demoted. Commissioner Chuck Sims stated in an email, the member in question maintains his innocence and we are giving him a chance to prove that before making a final determination regarding his employment. But this is not a singular issue. The commissioner telling Local 4 there is a need to revamp the clocking in and out protocol.
In the fire investigation unit, sometimes they can have their officers do that for them because they're responding to scenes or things of that nature. So we're looking into that right now.
Now, we should all care about payroll fraud and clocking in and out appropriately, as it's the taxpayers who pay the salaries, right? So there's also another Detroit fire follow we have for you. It was a couple months ago. We reported on that newly renovated Fire Engine House 30 over on Mount Elliott being closed. Well, Local 4 investigators discovered an issue the city was unaware of until we notified them. Take a look at this. These are pictures from inside the building showing a flooding issue, also a green growth on the walls. This was concerning considering millions was spent on this renovation.
So we wanted to follow up and got this email from Detroit's Construction and Demolition Department. First, we asked about cleanup cost. The city was unable to give us an answer, saying it was included in the wall preparation for the injectable epoxy coating system. We asked about the growth on the walls. The answer we got was there is currently no green growth visible on the walls. We asked about when the firehouse will be open. We were told estimated to be completed by mid-July. This was the scene about 2 weeks ago. Our cameras caught crews there addressing some of the issues. We asked if we could visit the site, talk to the city on camera, and find out why they were unaware of this flooding issue in the first place. Our request was denied. We're still trying to figure out who's leading this renovation project and the cost to taxpayers on the cleanup. Once we get that information, we'll share it.
Now, back to the payroll fraud story. When I did talk to the commissioner, he said they're in the process of making some changes, and so folks will have to personally clock in, clock out. No one can do it for you. Again, the Wayne County prosecutor is not charging this fire lieutenant, but I did want to share, I did pull a report from the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, or MCOLS. It shows weeks after I brought this issue to the fire commissioner, the chief of police got involved and permanently rescinded the lieutenant's police authority based on egregious misconduct involving his lack of accountability to the department's arson unit. So the question, what is next on this case? Well, the commissioner said he is giving this lieutenant the chance to prove his innocence. So we'll wait and see exactly what's decided there. We're also waiting to see the latest in terms of Engine 30. We were told that that firehouse was going to be prepared by mid-July. It is mid-July. We don't have an update, but I'll stay on top of the story. I guarantee you that. We are back in just a minute for Local 4 News with an update. While summer means hitting the beach for some, there is a hidden impact on our mental health. Coming up next, we're going to talk with a therapist on what to know that could impact our emotional well-being. You're watching Local 4 Live. We'll be right back. Oh, look at that. A live look over Lake Michigan this morning. While summer for some means hitting the beach, hanging out with friends, it could also mean isolation for others. While it's widely believed that suicide rates climb in the winter, there's a new report I want to talk to you about. It is from the CDC, and it says actually the opposite. According to the agency, suicide rates are lowest in November and December. They peak from May to August, especially for people over 25. Experts say this is because warmer weather can give people more energy, which could be good and bad for those who are struggling with depression. Also, seeing others having fun during the summer months, well, that can also make some feel more alone. So this morning, we're having a conversation with Carrie Craywick. She is a therapist at the Birmingham Maple Clinic, and I think that is so important. I think people stereotype and say, oh, it's the holidays that I'm sad, depressed, but I have some friends that we were having this conversation. They're like, I'm scrolling through social media, I'm seeing the family and friends and gatherings, and they're alone.
Yes.
And it's hard
Yes.
sometimes. And people, then you almost feel silly to bring it up because you're like, well, I'm supposed to be happy at summer.
I know. So I thought it was very interesting research. I mean, one thing we know, and I'm sure in journalism, is that violent crime does go up in the summer, and truly suicide is an act of violence against yourself. So there's one connection there. Some other connections they're making is that the changes in temperature and the heat cause more agitation, more rage. They can also cause our neurotransmitters to maybe behave differently. So there's some biological explanations, like you alluded to. There are some social explanations. Are we comparing ourselves to others, or even comparing ourselves to how we should be feeling? Right. We should be happy, and then we're not, actually makes us feel worse. Or we should look great in this bathing suit, or we should be on a fabulous vacation. If we're saying should, and we're saying we should be a certain way, and then we're not, that can add to shame, disappointment, of course, depression, and feelings of sadness.
What do you think in terms of perspective of maybe you're not, quote, there, like I'm not officially depressed, but I could see I'm starting to feel these feelings. Are there little things you could do day to day that could maybe lift your spirits or change your perception?
Absolutely. I think, we're doing so much research now, and there's like all these environmental factors like inflammation, even our seasonal allergies may have an impact. So we need to be taking care of ourselves physically, making sure we understand how our body is working, because those can contribute to depression, anxiety, and impulsivity. Certainly being aware, are we more or less active than we normally are? Are we more or less interested in certain activities? Are we eating more or less? Are we drinking more or less? Certainly another thing that happens in summer, there's parties, there's events, concerts, fireworks, camping, lakes, whatever. People are exposed to more alcohol, right. More recreational drugs, and to be aware, are we using more or less? Is this impacting our mood?
What about our kids? Because I think we all kind of put that stamp on, oh, it's summer break and they're having fun. But I think that also they can be isolated as well.
Sure. I mean, so in the summer, the kids don't have their same routine. They may be sleeping less or sleeping more, video gaming, screens more or less. But actually, the evidence shows that kids are at the highest risk for suicidal ideation once school starts.
Okay.
So, and I think also probably social comparison, the anxiety and pressure expectations of how they think they should be performing in school, the pressures of social popularity, and are they fitting in? Are they being included? So our kids are actually at the highest risk in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. And what about our seniors? Because a lot of times they're alone all year.
Yes.
If you've got a neighbor, a resident, a grandma, a parent, what can we do to help them?
Sure. I mean, I think, like you said, the people that are the hardest to reach are the ones that are not embedded in a social network. Now, our seniors are also not even embedded in the social networks of online and stuff, too. So, making a physical attempts to, ring a doorbell and say hello, offer help, a random act of kindness. I mean, all of those things would be such great touch points. Societally, we don't even get the same Amazon driver every day or DoorDash deliver every day. We don't have those touch points we used to have, like the mailman or something like that. And so it's really important to, if you see someone, say something. And if you see something, say something. If you're concerned about a resident you haven't seen out in a while, ring a doorbell, call and ask for a welfare check. Those things would all be very important.
Not giving any confidence away, but giving some perspective. What are you seeing here locally in terms of people's concerns this summer in terms of mental health?
I think year-round, always, it's like I said, the social comparison that we're always looking at, is someone looking better than us, looking thinner than us, making more money than us, having more friends than us, or a better relationship. And so many people have this idea that everyone else is doing better and they're somehow not measuring up. And that happens year-round, whether, like you said, Christmas, Valentine's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is hard. Thank you. Very
Thank
much for your
you.
perspective. You know, when that study came down, it surprised me because I didn't. It surprised me just because we never thought about summer being such a tough time. But then when you really do think about it, it can be for so many people.
100%.
Thank you very much. All
Of
right.
course.
Well, there is much more ahead here on Local 4 Live. We do want to make sure that you know that if you need information on suicide or for the Crisis Lifeline, we have that information. You can call 988 for anyone who may need it. You can call that number also for a loved one. It is a confidential, free line. It is open 24/7 via call, text, or chat. 988. Okay, you're back in 90 seconds with a check of your forecast. Taking a live look over downtown Detroit right now. Ron is going to be back. He's tracking some rain chances for your weekend, so we've got details on what is going to happen, when it's going to happen, so you can make plans accordingly. We'll be right back.
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
If you're like me, you are ready for a break. A break from the rainfall, a break from the air quality issues, and just some decent sunshine. Well, that is in our forecast. I just want to take you back to what we experienced yesterday. A lot of rain fell in Oakland and Macomb counties. That's where we had flash flooding, especially as you get into places like Rochester Hills, Lake Orion, Oakland Township, getting even over into places such as Macomb Township. Heavy rainfall yesterday. Now things are going to be drying out today. We are going to have calmer conditions, cold front moving through. Although it's breezy today, we are again going to have calmer conditions. So the clouds of the morning are going to subside as we get into the evening hours. Before sunset, we can expect some sunshine. Those winds peaking at around 15 miles per hour sustained during the afternoon hours. We'll have gusts up to around 25 miles per hour with winds shifting coming out of the west-northwest. Cloud to radar forecast, that cold front sweeping through. We have the clouds in the morning time, but by the afternoon and evening hours, things decreasing. We'll have that sunshine again making its appearance, and it'll be with us tomorrow. This high pressure system influencing our weather tomorrow. That means a lot of sunshine, and you'll see that right here. Most of lower Michigan getting clear skies as we go into the afternoon hours tomorrow. But there's a change that is in the forecast that comes shortly after that. We get into our Saturday morning. A warm front lifts through. It's going to bring that additional moisture, warmer conditions, as well as the chance of a couple of rain showers in the morning. But it's in the afternoon hours when we start to see this cold front approaching that we can see some thunderstorms firing out ahead of it. That'll be in the afternoon hours and going into the evening with that risk of thunderstorms on Saturday. Sunday, we see things clearing out. We see a drop in the humidity, and we also see the return of some sunny conditions. Now today, we're getting up to around 80 degrees. We have a spotty shower chance, mainly as we get into the thumb. The decreasing clouds will be with us. Again, those winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour, even a little bit higher in a couple of spots. How do we get to that 81 degree reading for Detroit? We're going to get there by about 1 p.m., 77 degrees. As we get later into the mid-afternoon hours, we're getting closer to around 80. Now, some of us are not going to hit 80. Some of us are going to be cooler than that. We're only topping out about 75 degrees as we go into Lapeer, 77 as we head into Waterford and Pontiac and West Bloomfield. And then as we go into Romulus, we start to see those 80s popping up. Garden City, Westland, we're going to be about 80 degrees. Here's what we have ahead of us. Temps are going to be noticeably cooler later on tonight. We're down into the 50s here in Metro Detroit, about 59 degrees in Detroit. As we go into the thumb, we're looking at mid-50s and even potentially the lower 50s in Sandusky. Tomorrow, topping out in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And then it's on Saturday that we have those shower and thunderstorm chances, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. But look at this. The heat is returning. It's coming on Wednesday. So enjoy the cool weather right now if you like it.
All right, thank you, Ron. We are back talking music and sports. Meantime, a live look over Detroit. Basketball returns to the city. We are chatting with Ice Cube about it. Plus, one pop star is talking about a memorable performance, and it's all because of Detroiters. Welcome back, everybody. It's 8:49 on your Thursday morning, taking a live look downtown Detroit. It was exactly 2 years ago we showed you this viral clip of something that happened during Ed Sheeran's Ford Field concert. Take a look.
Lose yourself in the music the moment you want it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music the moment you want it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better.
Remember that? It was 2023. Ed Sheeran surprised Detroit fans when he brought out Eminem to sing Lose Yourself. Fans went wild when realizing what was really going on. Turns out that concert's still pretty memorable to the singer. During an interview with Kylie Kelsey, that's going viral. Here's what he had to say about the Detroit concert.
The loudest, and there was a bit of a cheat code on it, but Detroit, and we brought on Eminem. And that was the loudest I've ever heard a crowd, like anywhere in the world. Like there's never been a louder crowd than that. But I will say it was because I brought Eminem on stage in Detroit. Like that's the cheat code.
Loudest anywhere in the world, Detroit. Sheeran also went on to say he loved the vibe of Detroit fans because they gave off this is the real us vibe. Finally, the conversation moved to football. Sheeran revealed he wants the Detroit Lions to win the Super Bowl next, saying they are on the edge of greatness. We agree. Getting a live look at Little Caesars Arena. This weekend, a Summer Classic returns. We are talking Big Three basketball. This time, the city has a team of its own. Our Hobie Artigue spoke with the founder of Big Three basketball, Ice Cube.
This weekend, the Big Three is coming to the D, and joining us to talk about it more, a guy who can rhyme much better than myself, the founder of the league, the one and only Ice Cube. Appreciate the time today.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Now, the Big Three has come to Detroit before, but now this city actually has a team, and it's been a good addition. They're 3-1 to start the year off right now. Why was Detroit a city that you just wanted to add to the league?
Great town. You know, so it's been a love affair with me since the late 80s in Detroit. Know some great people there. Always had a great time there. They always come out and support, you know, whether it's a concert, a movie, now Big Three. it's a great entertainment town. You know, they love to go out, dress up, hit the town, you know, enjoy each other. And so, you know, as a, you know, owner of a sports league, you definitely got to have a team in Detroit.
A lot of creativity when it comes to this league whenever you're talking about the game that's being played, but also the name, too. You call this team the Detroit Amplifiers, the Amps. How'd you come up with that, and what made that the right name for a team in the Motor City?
Well, you know, that's Keith Stone and Game Above. You know, they picked that name, and it's fitting. You know, Detroit is known for its music, you know, from Motown to heavy metal. To, you know, having, you know, one of the biggest rappers in the world there as Eminem. And so it's a music town. And, you know, it's only right to be called the Amplifiers. So they 3-1 now. You can call them whatever you want to, you know. Definitely call them winners because they come to win.
Yeah, they tied for the lead in the league right now. You guys, though, have traveled all over the country with the Big Three. Detroit was a stop on the tour back in 2023. What stood out from the last time you guys were here?
The excitement of the fans. People really welcoming the Big Three with open arms. You know, having, you know, people like Iceman, George Gervin, a part of this league, and Rick Mahorn. You know, it was very cool to you know, come to Detroit and see the welcome that they received in the city. Mm-hmm. So it's been a long time. Can't wait to get back.
Now, Detroit, you mentioned it earlier. It's a basketball city. The Pistons have history here. They got back to the playoffs this year. The college teams are always making noise around tournament time. But the Big Three, that's a new take on basketball. What can fans expect if they're thinking about coming out to LCA this weekend?
Oh, man, the game is played the way it's supposed to be played. Fast, physical.
Like in your driveway a little bit.
Hey, yeah, you know, why not? A little trash talking never hurt nobody. And, you know, these guys play to win. You know, it's not a ticky-tack ball, so you got to bring your big boy pants. You know, it's called the Big Three, not the little three. So you got to come in ready to play. And guys have a lot of fun. They play hard. It's a sprint, so it's no garbage minutes. So nobody's wasting nobody's time. It's first to 50 win. And it's just a great, great event. 4 games for the price of 1. You can't beat that with a stick. You see the whole league. Mm-hmm. And you got to see it live. I know, you know, you might can see it on TV somewhere, but you got to be able to see it live. You got to see the guys go at it. 7-footers playing 3-on-3 are the best.
That sounds incredible. I've seen it on TV. Can't wait to see it in person. But you started this back in 2017, and it has grown into what it has become. How do you feel like you're kind of changing the game around basketball?
Giving the people what they want, you know, and letting the players be themselves. Nobody wants to see robots play. People want to see, you know, guys go at it and compete at the highest level. We don't have too many games, so you don't have load management and crazy stuff like that. You got guys, you know, competing to win. You know, 8-game season, you gotta start fast and finish strong to be one of the Final 4 at the end.
Sports and entertainment always go hand in hand, it seems. We know what you're up to on the sports side, but what do you have in the works when it comes to music and movies? Because we also know that's a big part of who you are as an entertainer.
Oh, I'm gonna perform on Sunday, so come on out. You know, you'll see me.
That's the real headline right there.
Hit or 2, and it's gonna be real fun. You know, just making sure that we entertain the crowd. And you know, I'm working on a new album called Man Up. So we did Man Down last year, so we're doing Man Up this year.
That sounds incredible, but Sunday's sure to be a good day. That's all I know. Big Three basketball coming to LCA on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Ice Cube, thank you for the time, man.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, I appreciate that conversation. Thank you, Hobie. Much more ahead in our next hour. We are helping you spot counterfeits with a live demonstration. We're going to show you a car seat that's safe for children, and then one that you should not install in your car. Important information you need to see. Plus, we're taking you back out to Ann Arbor to chat with an artist and show off some of the incredible work at this weekend's art fair. And at any moment, the House is back in session to vote on a bill that cuts spending for NPR and PBS. We are going to bring you to D.C. with any updates on that very important vote this morning. More news and weather in our next hour. You're watching Local 4 Live with a gorgeous shot of Belleville Lake. We'll be right back, everybody.
From downtown Detroit, Local 4 Live starts right now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Local 4 Live. I'm Karen Drew, in for Nick Monticelli. We've got a lot to get to in our next hour of news. Let's start here, right off the top. We are keeping an eye on what's happening in Congress today. The House is headed back into session as we speak. Lawmakers are taking up a spending package that cuts foreign aid and funding for NPR and PBS. The Senate passed the package overnight. We're going to take you to D.C. for the very latest on that voting. Also, can you spot a counterfeit? An expert standing by live to show us the differences between a car seat you should feel comfortable putting your kids in and one you shouldn't. I have to tell you, not a lot of people realize that there were, quote, fake car seats out there, but there are. Then we are headed out live to show you some of the incredible art over at the Ann Arbor Art Fair. It's going to be fun, so make sure to stick around for that. But first, let's start with your news headlines on your Thursday morning at 9:01. In less than an hour, a Detroit teen faces a judge as an adult for the death of Alex Habib. Investigators say the teen was driving a stolen car, trying to get away from police when he ran a red light, crashing into Habib, who is driving for Uber. The case is part of a tougher crackdown by Macomb County Prosecutor Pete Lucida on suspects who run from police. The teen led police on a chase across Clinton Township in Roseville before crashing in Warren. Police believe the teenager is part of a group targeting people in the area. Habib's family says he loved his wife and 2 babies, making this loss even more heartbreaking.
Loved everybody, you know. There's not one person that could say that, you know, could say a bad word about him. He was there for everybody, you know. He worked hard, loved his family.
That teen is set to be formally charged in a Roseville courtroom at 10 o'clock this morning. We will keep you updated on Click on Detroit and also later editions of Local 4. Happening right now, the House just got back in session. You're looking live at Washington, D.C., where we are watching to see what happens next with a package of spending cuts. At 3 o'clock this morning, the Senate passed the recessions package, canceling $9 billion in foreign aid and funding for NPR and PBS. It was a 13-hour vote in the Senate. Senators from Alaska and Maine were the only 2 Republicans who voted against the bill. Every Senate Democrat voted against it. The House is taking it up this morning. That bill must be signed into law by midnight Friday for those cuts to stand. So when you buy a bike helmet, a car seat, one thing matters most. Will it protect you or a loved one in a crash? Now, we typically trust products for sale are tested and safe, but a new Consumer Reports investigation found it's not always the case. Rhonda Walker shows us some safety gear that's still being sold online, even if it fails to meet basic safety standards.
Child car seats protect our most precious cargo. While scrolling on websites with third-party sellers like Facebook Marketplace, Amazon, Walmart, or eBay, you might think you found a deal on car seats, but it could be a dud.
If you end up with a knockoff car seat, you don't have the guarantee that it was tested to meet the minimum safety standards. If you can't find the mandatory safety language, model numbers, date of manufacture, or even the manufacturer's contact information, that's a red flag.
For car seats, there are a few warning signs.
Some copycat products might have more narrow straps, like what you would find on a stroller or a high chair, and the knockoffs might even be lacking a chest clip.
Before you click buy, make sure the seller is the manufacturer or a major retailer. You can also buy it in person to ensure that you're getting the real McCoy. You should also avoid buying bike helmets from third-party sellers.
Consumer Reports product safety experts recently bought 21 helmets from third-party sellers on Amazon, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Shein, Temu, and Walmart. 8 of the helmets lacked the required sticker or label declaring compliance with Consumer Product Safety Commission standards, meaning they didn't meet the legal requirements for bike helmets sold in the U.S.
Consumer Reports policy experts say this is unacceptable.
U.S. liability laws are outdated, and online marketplaces often use them to shield themselves from taking responsibility for the safety of goods sold by third parties on their platforms. That needs to change.
When contacted about these non-compliant helmets, Shein, Temu, and Walmart took down the listings. The listing for the helmet CR bought from eBay was already down, and the company removed a listing from an identical helmet from a different seller. While CR did not find a non-compliant helmet on Amazon in its investigation, a bike helmet sold on Amazon was recalled soon after the study for not meeting CPSC standards. Meta, the owner of Facebook Marketplace, did not respond to multiple requests for comment.
All right, thanks to Rhonda for that. And we are about to dig more into this topic. So after the break, I'm going to go outside of our studios. We're talking to an expert from Children's Hospital joining us live. Take a look at some of this. Can you tell which one is a, quote, good/safe car seat? Which one isn't? We're going to get some information in terms of what you need to inspect. We're talking about other safety items, summer safety concerns for kids. We've got sunblock, we've got bike helmets. I'm going to head out there. We'll be out there in just a couple of moments. Stay tuned for summer safety concerns for you and your family. Coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Local 4 Live. We stepped outside of our studios. We are being joined right now by Renee Czar. She was with Children's Hospital of Michigan. We teased right before the break, we're talking about safety. Rhonda Walker did a story in reference to car seats, and that actually caught a lot of folks' attention because you kind of figure, well, if the car seat's for sale, whether it's online or whatever, it's safe. But that's not always the case.
It's not always the case. And to an untrained eye, it could, caregivers could think they're getting a safe car seat when in reality it could actually be not safe for their children to be in.
So when you take a look at these, I mean, they look very similar. Show me, I guess, which one's, quote, safe and why is the other one not?
So there are things that we look out for on car seats. Make sure they're approved for use in the United States. So many countries have their own certifications that they need to meet or exceed those standards in order for it to be used in their country. A lot of times caregivers could get a car seat that's certified for another country, but not certified for here in the United States.
And their standards may not be as high as ours.
Exactly.
Okay.
So caregivers definitely want to look at their car seats, and infant seats are most commonly the ones that could be the most unsafe or counterfeited or approved for other countries. So what we want to look for in the United States are ones that have airbag warning labels on the front for infants under the age of 2. You'll see a warning like that on there, and that's a good indication that you have a car seat that is safe for your child.
This one with the labels, but this one does not have
that one has no labels.
That's a red flag.
That's a huge red flag. And then
it feels like the cushioning's different.
Much different. There's padding.
This is so much better.
And that goes all the way back to the federal motor vehicle safety standards that this car seat has to pass in order for it to be used in the United States. The other part is that this has a 5-point harness which goes over the infant's legs, and this one does not.
This one doesn't.
And it does not have a chest clip either.
Oh, you're right. That has a clip here, and that doesn't. And you know what? If you're a first-time parent and you don't even know, you're going to think, oh my gosh, I saved some money.
Exactly.
Or a lot of times people buy that car seat for the nanny or the grandma or the extra person who's doing the driving. But you need to know this.
And the last most important thing is there's a label actually right here on the bottom of the car seat that says that it is federally motor vehicle safety standards are met, and it can be used and certified for use in the United States.
That's good to know. Okay, look for the labels inside and out. Okay, well, while we have you here, can we talk more safety?
Absolutely.
Bike helmets.
Yes.
What are you showing us?
Okay, so for bike helmets, it's important that caregivers and children are using the appropriate bike helmet for whatever activity they're doing. So if it's just biking and there's no motorized anything, then they can just wear a standard bike helmet. They even can do it while skiing, while ice skating.
Regular standard
even during the winter sports as well. I mean, having styrofoam and something to protect their head and most importantly their brain. Right. But in order for caregivers to make sure that they have a safe helmet for their child, they want to look for this consumer product safety sticker on the inside, which means it's been certified and it's safe for use for whatever activity it says, and this one says bicycle right on it. And then I also have the skateboarding one, which meets the same standards, but it also says it's not for motorized use on the inside because it can take a harder impact, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily used for motorized.
And there's so many kids jumping on those scooters, etc., the e-bikes.
Yep.
And then this one is fine too.
Yep, that was absolutely fine.
Example.
It's just, they can look different, but as long as they know that they got either their car seat or their helmet straight from the manufacturer is always
That's the
best.
key. Okay.
Yeah.
While we're here, let's talk other stuff. We got sunblock, bug spray.
Yep. So when it's summertime, so we're outside and we want to keep our kids safe from either the sun or the bugs. So it's important for kids under the age of 6 months not to use sunblock or bug spray on those children. And so their skin is very sensitive and they like to put everything in their mouth. They could accidentally put those dangerous chemicals in their body.
So we under 6 months, no sunblock.
No sunblock. And if we can avoid the peak times of when the sun is out, make sure that you have at least 30 SPF. And then reapply every 2 hours, even if you're not swimming, but you could be sweating.
That's my problem. That's why I didn't reapply enough. And I had a little skin cancer on my face.
People don't realize, even on cloudy days, that the UV can still come through. So we want UVA and UVB protection for our children. And then when we get on the water or around pools, any type of body of water, we want to make sure that they have a personal flotation device.
That's right for their weight.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So many times you just grab what I know and then you're like, oh, this is going to be fine, but it's too big, it's too loose, and it doesn't work.
If we have to inflate it, it's not a personal flotation device. So those water wings or an inner tube, anything like that, is not. It's good for fun, but it's not going to keep them safe. Yep. And then it's also important as a gentle reminder for caregivers to have a responsible water watcher. So one adult is going to be at the water side watching the kids focus their attention as they're not on their phone and nowhere else. If they have to leave the water side for a second, then they're going to hand it to another responsible adult.
I like this idea.
And then, because kids can drown in as little as 1 inch of water, and it can take minutes, and it's silent.
And you can be scrolling for 30 seconds and you're fine.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yes,
like
and
that.
it's silent too, and you know, and so this way the caregiver's aware that they're going to be the ones attentive to those children, and the children should stay within arm's reach.
Water washer.
Yep, children should never swim alone, and never swim in bodies of water that they aren't familiar with. Yeah. You know, and then lastly, being that it's summer, you know, the 4th of July is just here, lots of fireworks going on, but it's still important for caregivers to know fireworks, even ones that we get, can be very dangerous for children. There could be a false sense of security with some of these things, especially with sparklers. Sparklers can actually, they're very dangerous for children to use. They can ignite clothing. They can actually burn at over 1,000 degrees.
I don't think a lot of people realize that, and we've done that before, because you know, you give it to the child and you think, oh, it's fun. It's not something blowing up per se, but that heat of that, 1,000 degrees,
1,000 degrees or more.
And you know, and I hate to say they're running and then they fall, and unfortunately, I don't want to think about that, but like that's frightening.
Yeah, so we try to encourage caregivers, go to a public display, or go somewhere where you know that they're safely going to be lit, where you can still enjoy the festivities.
Okay. Renee, thank you. We learned a lot here.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. All right, I like this water watcher thing. Yeah. I like that. We're going to steal that. Okay, thank you very much. We are coming back. We are going to head out to Ann Arbor. We're talking about the art fair there, what you need to know. We're talking parking. We're talking all the fun stuff to look for right after the break. So you're watching Local 4 Live. We'll be right back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
If you're like me, you are ready for a break. A break from the rainfall, a break from the air quality issues, and just some decent sunshine. Well, that is in our forecast. I just want to take you back to what we experienced yesterday. A lot of rain fell in Oakland and Macomb counties. That's where we had flash flooding, especially as you get into places like Rochester Hills, Lake Orion, Oakland Township, getting even over into places such as Macomb Township. Heavy rainfall yesterday. Now things are going to be drying out today. We are going to have calmer conditions, cold front moving through. Although it's breezy today, we are, again, going to have calmer conditions. So the clouds of the morning are going to subside as we get into the evening hours. Before sunset, we can expect some sunshine. Those winds peaking at around 15 miles per hour sustained during the afternoon hours. We'll have gusts up to around 25 miles per hour with winds shifting coming out of the west-northwest. Cloud to radar forecast, that cold front sweeping through. We have the clouds in the morning time, but by the afternoon and evening hours, things decreasing. We'll have that sunshine again making its appearance, and it'll be with us tomorrow. This high pressure system influencing our weather tomorrow. That means a lot of sunshine, and you'll see that right here. Most of lower Michigan getting clear skies as we go into the afternoon hours tomorrow. But there's a change that is in the forecast that comes shortly after that. We get into our Saturday morning. A warm front lifts through. It's going to bring that additional moisture, warmer conditions, as well as the chance of a couple of rain showers in the morning. But it's in the afternoon hours when we start to see this cold front approaching that we can see some thunderstorms firing out ahead of it. That'll be in the afternoon hours and going into the evening with that risk of thunderstorms on Saturday. Sunday, we see things clearing out. We see a drop in the humidity, and we also see the return of some sunny conditions. Now today, we're getting up to around 80 degrees. We have a spotty shower chance, mainly as we get into the thumb. The decreasing clouds will be with us. Again, those winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour, even a little bit higher in a couple of spots. How do we get to that 81 degree reading for Detroit? We're going to get there by about 1 p.m., 77 degrees. As we get later into the mid-afternoon hours, we're getting closer to around 80. Now, some of us are not going to hit 80. Some of us are going to be cooler than that. We're only topping out about 75 degrees as we go into Lapeer, 77 as we head into Waterford and Pontiac and West Bloomfield. And then as we go into Romulus, we start to see those 80s popping up. Garden City, Westland, we're going to be about 80 degrees. Here's what we have ahead of us. Temps are going to be noticeably cooler later on tonight. We're down into the 50s here in Metro Detroit, about 59 degrees in Detroit. As we go into the thumb, we're looking at mid-50s and even potentially the lower 50s in Sandusky. Tomorrow, topping out in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And then it's on Saturday that we have those shower and thunderstorm chances, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. But look at this. The heat is returning. It's coming on Wednesday. So enjoy the cool weather right now if you like it.
All right, thank you, Rod. We appreciate it. We're taking a live look right now at the Ann Arbor Art Fair. Look at the crowds are building. We are back talking to a local artist at the fair to give you a breakdown on all you need to know about this weekend event. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. 9:24 on your Thursday morning. Let's go out live right now to Ann Arbor. Check out the scene where in little under an hour, one of the largest art fairs in the nation is going to start. We're talking about the Ann Arbor Art Fair happening this weekend across 30 city blocks. Over 1,000 artists will be in downtown Ann Arbor to share their art to all the different visitors coming by. Organizers say 3 different fairs are actually happening over the weekend. There is a lot to talk about. Joining us now to talk about the 3 events and show us some of her art being shown at the fair is local artist Catherine Adamkiewicz. Catherine, we appreciate it. I love, right now you caught my eye right behind you. Is that some of your art?
Yes, it is. Good morning. I'm so excited to be here, Karen. Thank you for having me.
Well, I am so excited to have you here, Catherine. We're going to talk details, but I'm just too interested right now. Can you walk me through some of the art that you have exhibited behind you and talk to us a little bit about it?
Of course. Yeah, come on into the booth. I'm here in booth 235 on Liberty and 5th in Ann Arbor. It's my first time in the Ann Arbor Art Fair, so I'm really excited to be here. I've only been showing for a couple years. So this is the big show, as we call it, all over the country where I travel. So I'm very happy to be here. So most of what you're seeing is my love, which is what I consider intuitive abstract art. And what that means is that it's not representational, it's more about expressing emotion, and which for me is usually hope, joy, transformation, those kinds of themes. The reason I call it intuitive is that I don't really know what it's going to be when I start. I might have an inkling of some intention of color, things like that I want to interpret, or the emotions that I'm feeling, but I don't know what it's going to look like. So when people ask me what's it going to be like, what's it going to look like, did you know when you started, the answer is no, I don't know.
Oh, I like
so
that.
It's a matter of yeah, just kind of seeing what shows up and taking what feels kind of chaotic and turning it into something that I think is beautiful that others can enjoy.
Do you have a favorite piece there that you really poured your heart and soul into, that you're just like, oh, this is a great story behind it?
I would like to tell you about one that I think Eric is looking at right now. It's called Anything Can Happen, and it's actually inspired by our Detroit Lions. My husband is a lifelong, huge Lions fan. Shout out to Aaron. He's amazing, my husband, who does everything with me. Anyway, it was painted during when they really had their awesome season, which this year they're going to win the Super Bowl, we all know. But when they won the championship, the NFC North Championship, I painted that as sort of an homage to them, just knowing that if they can do it, we can do it.
Oh, that's right.
And they are going to do it. So
anything can happen. I love this. This is great.
Anything
you need to make sure
can happen. Yes.
Post that on social media and tag them so folks know, Detroit Lions fans.
Yes, I will. Yeah. So that's one of the ones that had a more specific inspiration. Obviously, it's got that a little bit of Honolulu blue, but some of the other ones. You know, you asked if I have a favorite. The one right here on my right is my most recent painting. So kind of like when you have a new baby, the new baby's your favorite.
Yeah. How long does it take for you,
one,
Catherine, for about a piece of artwork? How many hours?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it really varies a lot. Sometimes, like this particular piece, has a lot of layers, and I do enjoy that process. This probably has 2 complete paintings underneath.
Oh, wow.
So that one, you could say, took months in a way till I got it to where I wanted it to be. But some of them show up really quickly, so it might just be a couple hours of work, even a large painting. It's not necessarily that a small painting is quick. This big one on my largest piece so far is on this wall here. Is called Wounds to Wisdom, and it actually showed up pretty quickly in a matter of just a couple days, because it's really, again, since it's intuitive and based on where I'm at, how I'm feeling.
I love it. I do.
They can show up kind of fast sometimes.
I guess we're wrapping up, Catherine. I could just sit here and keep talking about your art. If somebody sees you right now and they want to find your particular booth, where is it, so we can give you a little promo?
Yes, like I said, I'm on Liberty Street at 5th, almost right at the corner.
Okay.
So that's an easy way to find me. It's booth number 235. I'm in the Guild section, but there's the 3 great shows in one. We'll be here till 9 o'clock tonight, tomorrow, and then 8 o'clock on Saturday.
All right. Have you ever done a live interview like this? You did great.
I don't think so. I think this is my first time, so yeah.
I love the saying, when's the last time you did something for the first time? So you did a great live interview for us, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope you
it was my pleasure, Karen.
Yeah, have an amazing weekend. Thank you for sharing off your art.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye. If you want to check out the fair for yourself, it is open today and tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Definitely check it out. There's so much to see. Like we said, 3 fairs in one. Well, we've got much more for you in the next half hour on Local 4 Live. When we are back, we are getting into some of the top stories as well as checking in with the stock market set to open in just a few moments. We'll be right back.
From downtown Detroit, Local 4 Live starts right now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Local 4 Live. I'm Karen Drew, in for Nick Monticelli on your Thursday morning. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. One of the big stories we're following right now, we're going to take you out to the stock market where trading just started moments ago for the day. You're looking at the big board. Things we are keeping an eye on, obviously the numbers. Following this week's report that inflation is up. Despite that news yesterday, Dow was up 231 points, NASDAQ was up 52 points, and the S&P 500 was up 19 points. Of course, we will keep an eye on the board today as it changes and keep you updated on air and on. Shut down right now after flooding caused by what might be a burst pipe. Water has spread through several main areas inside the mall, even part of the parking lot. The mall says they are actively working to resolve the problem. We will keep you updated on when it is back open. Today, we expect to learn more about 2 women found dead inside a Warren condo. According to police, one of the women's mothers found them yesterday morning. She told police the other woman is a stranger. Police say when they got there, they found the mother lying on the kitchen floor and a woman dead at the kitchen table. Both women died from gunshots. Also happening today, the Detroit bus driver charged with stabbing a passenger is due in court. 55-year-old Troy Lincoln is charged with assault with intent to murder. This happened on July 1st near Gratiot Avenue and East 7 Mile Road. The 25-year-old victim survived getting stabbed in the face and stomach. Lincoln is due in court this morning for a preliminary examination. This morning, we're hearing from the family of Danielle Stislicki after they learned more evidence is being suppressed in a case that continues to drag on and on. Danny was last seen, it was December of 2016, right outside of our Southfield office on Telegraph with former security guard Floyd Galloway. He's charged in her murder. We are now learning more evidence will not be allowed in this case because the person who took Galloway's lie detector test illegally shared that information with police, who then used that information to gather evidence.
In the latest ruling, more evidence is suppressed in the murder trial of Floyd Galloway. New court documents show the searching of Galloway's home was well within reason, but Galloway's wallet and TCF Bank debit card and any transactions must be suppressed. Prosecution was hoping to use a purchase Galloway made at a Bed Bath & Beyond store. In all, there are 16 points of evidence collected, but now being suppressed because the judge has ruled the evidence was collected illegally, including Danny's Fitbit, keys, surveillance video of Galloway, and taxi evidence of a ride Galloway took when Danny disappeared. Meantime, in court today, Galloway's defense team trying to kick out the prosecution team.
We didn't get here by some police officer being sloppy. We got here by deliberate intrusion into the attorney-client privilege that was then hid. It's the cover-up that is almost as bad as what happened.
The judge said he would rule on that later. Meantime, I spoke to Danny's family right outside the courtroom.
There were many mistakes made, but the fact is that she's still gone. And the public knows what the public knows. And we want justice.
Story, what really happened to Danielle, what all the details, all the players involved, the family is determined to get it out there and to make sure that even if we don't get justice for Danny, we will get the truth out there regarding Danny.
There's so much more to this case. So I posted those court documents listing all that evidence that will now not be allowed to be used in the murder trial. You can find that on clickondetroit.com to find more information on that. We also published an article on Click On taking you through all of this and the case, all the information that was suppressed, and you can read some of our past stories in our investigations. You can find that information on the homepage. Well, when we're back, we are checking in with Dr. Frank McGeorge and Local 4 Health producer Sarah Mayberry to talk about our recent Go For It event and help you understand some of the first aid basics you need to know right after the break. What an event. Hundreds of people came out to our July Go For It event this week on First Aid Basics. They had a chance to learn skills to help them better respond to everyday injuries and emergencies. This morning, Dr. Frank McGeorge and our medical producer, Sarah Mayberry, are sharing some of the very important takeaways from those classes.
Thanks, Karen. So I had a chance to sit in on several of the sessions, and I noticed that a lot of the people were asking similar questions or were surprised by a lot of the same things. So I thought it would be great for us to talk through some of those things so we can share them with more people. One thing that blew people's mind was that you're not supposed to tip your head back if someone has a nosebleed. Right. Can you explain why that is?
So that's a funny thing, you know, when you're bleeding, most of the time a nosebleed is going to come from the front part of your nose. And so when your head is forward, the blood naturally runs out of the front of your nose. Now there is such a thing as a posterior nosebleed that occurs further back in your face or in your nose, and that will naturally run backward. But the thing is, when you tip your head backward, it gives you the perception that the bleed is slowing down perhaps, or maybe even stopping. But what's actually happening is the blood is just running down the back of your throat and it's still bleeding. So even if you have your head back, unless you're pinching really hard in the front of your nose, you're still going to be bleeding. The other funny thing that I want to mention though, as far as a nosebleed myth, so tipping your head back does not slow down the bleeding. But the other thing is ice packs to the back of your neck or to your face. That's another one of these like weird little myths that's supposed to slow down a nosebleed. There's actually been good research that doesn't do anything. The only thing that really slows down a nosebleed effectively is pinching in the front of your nose. The other thing I should mention though is if you pinch hard in the front of your nose and either it doesn't stop within 10 minutes or you feel blood running down the back of your throat, that may actually be an indication that you have a posterior bleed that is more severe, and that's a case where you might need to go to an emergency room.
Good to know, good to know. Bleeding was another big issue that we talked about a lot. One of the things was the importance of applying direct pressure if someone's bleeding. Talk a little bit about how we know if the direct pressure is working or if we need to be calling 911 and seeking more advanced care.
Right, so your first response to bleeding is always going to be pressure. So you cover it and you put pressure. Now technically, I guess if you don't have something to cover it, like a piece of cloth or gauze or something, you can just hold pressure with your hand and just press hard. But ideally you have a gauze or some piece of clean cloth to use.
Now if we're out, like if it happens on a hike or something and all we have is a t-shirt, is that better than nothing? Or?
It is absolutely better than nothing. I mean, the main idea behind putting like a cloth or gauze on there is when the blood gets into it, the blood will begin to naturally coagulate in that material, and that actually slows down the bleeding because it's clotting. So the issue is, if you have a small amount of bleeding, pressure is the right thing. Even if you have a large amount of bleeding, pressure is the right thing. The issue is, or the difference is, if it's a small amount of bleeding, and you're going to manage the cut or the wound yourself, you're going to actually ultimately take that off, and then you're going to clean it off, and it might bleed again. You just hold pressure once it's clean, and then when it stops bleeding, then you might dress it with a bandage or whatever appropriately. But if it's gushing blood, if it's bleeding a ton, and you're holding pressure, you want to keep holding pressure on that tight, and you want to go to the emergency room if it's bleeding severely. The other thing that I think you had mentioned actually that they talked about was you need to resist the urge to peek. You don't want to pull it back.
This was a really good point, because what do? We cover it with the first piece of gauze, then we keep pulling it off to see if it stops.
Right.
So what should we do instead?
Yeah, so you don't want to peek. You actually need to hold it down until it stops thoroughly. And once it stops thoroughly, again, if it's too large to manage at home.
How do I know if it stopped thoroughly if I'm not looking?
Well, that's a good point. It'll basically stop. I mean, you'll know that it just basically isn't soaking through anymore. But if it's soaked through, and you don't have a sense that there's any more blood oozing around the site, and you think you can manage it at home, then it's okay to slowly pull it off. But remember, when you pull it off, you are peeling the clot that is basically stopping the bleeding off. And when that happens, you're basically going to have the bleeding start up again. So the issue is, if it bleeds through and it keeps bleeding, you need to add more cloth to it and make it tighter. Because really, when it's bleeding through, the cloth that you have is actually doing something. The clot is better than nothing. And you don't want to disrupt that clot. You need to add more cloth to it. But I think a big mistake, again, is just like this repetitive peeking.
Yeah. So first one soaks through, add another one, and just more pressure. Okay. We brought the EpiPens out because I was personally shocked at how many people didn't know how to use an EpiPen, weren't familiar with that, and they said something that was really good for people to remember was blue to the sky, so the top, and orange to the thigh. Blue to the sky, orange to the thigh. So talk us through what that means.
Well, so when you pop an EpiPen out of its container, out of its holder, the blue top is actually a purposeful stopper. So in other words, actually, I'm going to just go ahead and pull it out. There's a plug in there that keeps this from deploying. Once you pull that out and you slam this orange part down, the needle will fly out of here and it'll basically inject the epinephrine. So with the blue in, it doesn't do anything. If I take this blue out and I slam that down or I push it on me, I'll get an injection of epinephrine. So that's why you say blue to the sky, so that you know which end, because when you're scared and you don't know what's going on, you might think, oh gosh, do I put this side down? You don't know. And you have to remember to take this blue off. And then you put this to your thigh.
You're putting your thigh, not the arm.
But, my thigh is way down here, so I'm not gonna. But you want to push this to your thigh. That's exactly right. And you want to push it. You want to push it down until this orange basically pushes all the way in, and you need to hold it there. You don't push it and pull it out. You push it and you hold it there, because what it's doing then is it's injecting the needle in and it's pushing the epinephrine in. So it takes a second or two to get in. Actually, it's 3 seconds is what they recommend that you hold it to.
And then they made a point, you need to massage the person, or whoever is helping it needs to massage the thigh to help the medicine get dispersed.
Exactly. You want the epinephrine to basically circulate a little bit, precisely.
A lot of people ask, can it go through clothing? And the answer is yes. You can. You don't need to remove any clothing. You just put it right there.
People are just used to it because when they get a shot, for example, we wash the area off, and we try and roll up the sleeve, that kind of thing. But in an emergency, you just inject the epinephrine.
Real quick, I want to hit on heat stroke or heat exhaustion, because one of the points they made is if someone you want to give someone water, but you don't want them guzzling water. Explain a better strategy.
Yeah, so the issue with drinking water is you do need to drink water, but if you guzzle water, what happens is if you're already feeling kind of not quite right, you're just going to throw it all up, and then you're actually getting farther behind. So you want to just sip a little bit of water and just be slow and consistent about it, because if you drink too much too fast, especially if it's cold water, you'll get stomach cramps, and basically you'll just get nauseated and throw up ultimately. So you just want to be consistent, small, slow sips constantly.
We did touch on water safety too, and one of the points that really hit home with me is obviously supervision is key, swim lessons are key, but if a child is missing, check the water first.
Yeah, right.
So, we've all had that situation where, you're at a party and wait, where's the little kid? And that's the thing where, the idea that you check the water first.
Right.
If there's a pool, if there's a hot tub, if there's any water nearby, send someone immediately to check there, because those seconds count.
Right, and we've heard cases where parents searched the house and the pool was the last place they thought, and sure enough, the child was in there, unfortunately, drowned for a longer period of time. If the kid's not in the pool, that's great. You've ruled that out. Move on. But check the most dangerous place first, and that is going to be the pool typically.
Yeah. So check the water first. Well, that was a lot of the main points we hit, but I think so many people told us, hey, I'm going to sign up for another class. And talk about the value of that.
Well, to that point, this was, of course, an introductory class, covered on a lot of topics very briefly, but the Red Cross does offer in-depth first aid classes on a number of very specific topics, and you can sign up for them at the Red Cross site. That's redcross.org, actually. And they will offer in-depth courses where you can learn a great deal more about specific things that you might be interested in. The other thing I should mention is the Red Cross app. It's a phone app that has first aid skills.
And it's Red Cross First Aid.
Yes, Red Cross First Aid. And there's actually a pet one as well for pet first aid. And it's very well organized. You can look things up by topic. It'll guide you to the nearest hospital if that's where you need to go. It'll give you some immediate instructions on what to do. Ideally, you will have known some of those things before you're looking at the app, but the whole idea is the app is actually a handy reference source.
Yeah, so it's something you can, in advance, if you have a lot of, kids getting hurt or cuts or whatever, you can look it up in advance and get some good training.
Definitely, yeah. But go to redcross.org, and they'll give you a really good, I think, overview of the courses and opportunities for learning. All right, back to you, Karen.
All right, we appreciate it, Dr. McGeorge and Sarah. Thank you so much for the time and the insight. Get a live look at downtown Detroit right now. When we come back, we're going to check back in with Ron, talk a little bit about the forecast, some potential storms coming your way so you can plan today and your weekend. It's 9:47. You are watching Local 4 Live. We'll be right back.
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
If you're like me, you are ready for a break. A break from the rainfall, a break from the air quality issues, and just some decent sunshine. Well, that is in our forecast. I just want to take you back to what we experienced yesterday. A lot of rain fell in Oakland and Macomb counties. That's where we had flash flooding, especially as you get into places like Rochester Hills, Lake Orion, Oakland Township, getting even over into places such as Macomb Township. Heavy rainfall yesterday. Now, things are going to be drying out today. We are going to have calmer conditions, cold front moving through. Although it's breezy today, we are, again, going to have calmer conditions. So the clouds of the morning are going to subside as we get into the evening hours. Before sunset, we can expect some sunshine. Those winds peaking at around 15 miles per hour sustained during the afternoon hours. We'll have gusts up to around 25 miles per hour with winds shifting coming out of the west-northwest. Cloud to radar forecast, that cold front sweeping through. We have the clouds in the morning time, but by the afternoon and evening hours, things decreasing. We'll have that sunshine again making its appearance, and it will be with us tomorrow. This high pressure system influencing our weather tomorrow. That means a lot of sunshine, and you'll see that right here. Most of lower Michigan getting clear skies as we go into the afternoon hours tomorrow. But there's a change that is in the forecast that comes shortly after that. We get into our Saturday morning. A warm front lifts through. It's going to bring that additional moisture, warmer conditions, as well as the chance of a couple of rain showers in the morning. But it's in the afternoon hours when we start to see this cold front approaching that we can see some thunderstorms firing out ahead of it. That'll be in the afternoon hours and going into the evening with that risk of thunderstorms on Saturday. Sunday, we see things clearing out. We see a drop in the humidity, and we also see the return of some sunny conditions. Now today, we're getting up to around 80 degrees. We have a spotty shower chance, mainly as we get into the thumb. The decreasing clouds will be with us. Again, those winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour, even a little bit higher in a couple of spots. How do we get to that 81 degree reading for Detroit? We're going to get there by about 1 p.m., 77 degrees. As we get later into the mid-afternoon hours, we're getting closer to around 80. Now, some of us are not going to hit 80. Some of us are going to be cooler than that. We're only topping out about 75 degrees as we go into Lapeer, 77 as we head into Waterford and Pontiac and West Bloomfield. And then as we go into Romulus, we start to see those 80s popping up. Garden City, Westland, we're going to be about 80 degrees. Here's what we have ahead of us. Temps are going to be noticeably cooler later on tonight. We're down into the 50s here in Metro Detroit, about 59 degrees in Detroit. As we go into the thumb, we're looking at mid 50s and even potentially the lower 50s in Sandusky. Tomorrow, topping out in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And then it's on Saturday that we have those shower and thunderstorm chances, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. But look at this. The heat is returning. It's coming on Wednesday. So enjoy the cool weather right now if you like it.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Ron. When we come back, we are going to check in with Kim and Tati from Live in the D to talk about what's going on in the show, plus a chance for you to give a name to the Sea Life Aquarium's newest addition. All right, just ahead of Shark Week, we need your help to name a new shark. This hound shark just arrived at the Sea Life Michigan Aquarium over at Great Lakes Crossing in Auburn Hills. He's a rescue and is at least 5 years old. Last year, the aquarium asked our viewers to name a new guitar fish, and you all decided on the name Dolly. So now it is time to dive deep, get creative for that hound shark. Give us your best shark puns. Hound jokes, I don't know, but don't go too cheesy. To weigh in, scan the QR code on your screen or just head to the homepage of clickondetroit.com. We will announce a winner next week. All right, we've got much more coming up throughout the day here on Local 4. Kim and Toddy from Live in the D are here to show us a little bit about what is ahead. You guys look gorgeous.
Thank you. Well, so do you.
So
we all
sweet,
got like
yes.
these pink purple colors
Yeah.
on.
I'm soaking up summer.
Absolutely.
Were you on vacation?
No.
Okay, you're glowing like you have a tan. I'm like, where did you go?
No, it's so much bronzer.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of.
But you have been golfing.
I did try golfing.
Yes.
It was horrible, but I had so much fun.
It doesn't matter as long as you have fun.
I posted it on, and everyone was giving me advice. I need some
that's
work.
annoying.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like, let me just golf.
I'm just trying to golf.
I love your honesty. She was like, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I did not like it at all.
I said I go horrible style or horrible swing, but great time.
Yeah, that's all that
Hilarious.
matters. I mean, I've been golfing for a couple years now, and I'm terrible, but it's fun.
Yeah,
you also like wine, right?
Well, yes, I do.
So we are talking about the Traverse City Wine Festival.
Yeah. Is it this weekend?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Oh, I'm going to actually be up north.
Okay,
I might have.
I think you should watch
the
the show.
Yeah, and we're also celebrating Bastille Day here in Detroit, in Berkeley, actually. So we've got Monger's Provisions coming in with like a spread, give you some wine pairings. You can either go and celebrate with them or you can celebrate at home.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. It's a great show.
Great show.
Don't mind if we say so.
Yeah. We've got some good talkers today as well.
We do.
So I am excited to talk to you about this one, suitcases.
Oh, yeah, I found that
Tati's a little bit of a germaphobe. Are you?
Oh no, I would offend you so badly. I have no worry about germs.
Really?
Nothing grosses me out.
I'll just pass you a hand of pack of sanitary wipes. Let's
I
rub
think
it
I'm
down.
somewhere actually in the middle.
No, like so you're something about suitcases, like you don't want to put it here, don't put it on the floor.
It actually there's an article that came out, realsimple.com. Studies have shown there's more bacteria and disgusting things on your suitcase than in a public toilet seat, Karen.
Really? And then you roll it through the airport, and then you put it on your bed to pack.
Exactly.
That's the number one thing. That's one of the tips. Do not put it on your bed.
So where do you pack? On the floor?
That's what they say. And we should be wiping them down. We'll give you all the details on
Yeah.
that. It's a thing. It's a whole thing.
I was actually thinking about this when we were collecting all the suitcases for the golf
Remember?
tournament,
Yeah.
and I felt it kind of on my
felt kind of
hands.
grimy.
I was like,
Just saying. Just saying.
All right.
Join us. Live
Wine,
in the Deep.
suitcases,
And germs.
Germs.
Boy, we keep it interesting on Live in the D. What can I say?
Yeah. Good to see you guys.
You too.
All right, we'll wrap it up. So, thank you so much for joining us for Local 4 Live. We've got more news and weather ahead on Local 4 Plus and always on clickondetroit.com. Have a fantastic day.